What's going on, traders? Cleveland here, and it's time for another Monday market breakdown. I'm about to head out of here. I've been in the office, had a meeting today with some guys that do some pretty big Facebook advertising for about 6 hours. So now I'm finally pulling together, about to crank out this Monday market breakdown, and we have a lot on the technical analysis front. We have some fundamentals coming out. Aussie, they just had a monetary speech technically this morning for them at around 7:30 Eastern. Okay, but other than that, when you look at the euro, when you look at the Aussie, when you look at the GBP, again, they're fairly consolidated. Euro is the only thing that's still pushed down from last week. We had a nice pullback up onto a 50% level, and we actually took that back down into structure. So right now, I think the euro is floating around that 106s, the 06 flats. So we'll go over into the charts, but I kind of saw that momentum continuing, right? So we have a lot coming out in terms of U.S. economics. And it seems that this little Trump tax reform ideal has really given the market a little bit more strength than I would assume it would have, right? So it seems as if we're going to come down to a 61.8, which is a major structure. We'll pull over to the charts and I'll let you know what I'm talking about. But other than that, for this euro, I would love to sell it off. Now, fundamentally this week, not too much. We have unemployment claims on Wednesday. Unemployment claims have been I think they're at a 47-year low. Okay, so we've just been smashing those in terms of the U.S. has been smashing unemployment claims, and I don't really think that it's going to be too much different, and that's been giving a lot of steam to the market as well. Aussie dollar up there in those 77 highs, sell. Okay, sell. I have to sell whenever it comes in. It comes in. Haven't lost any money on it because it just consolidates up there in those highs. Okay, so you can't really lose money when it consolidates unless you're just trying to pick tops and bottoms. But I'm looking to swing those positions out. I was day trading those positions on some lows to some highs, but other than that, no real swing has really gone against me or anything like that. I haven't really placed any kind of short position in the Aussie, even though I've been wanting to short it off since like the 75s. Haven't yet had a confirmation that it's going to pull on over to the downside, okay? And then for the pound has been consolidated for about a good 3 weeks. I mentioned in the forecast that I'm about to push out there in the charts that I think we could break this 38.2% level that the market's kind of hanging around at if we get that U.S. strength this week, okay? So other than that, folks, I'm going to head home, getting real tired. I want you guys to check out some of the analysis. Let me know what you think. If you're in that rookie room, we had a lot of guys come into that rookie room last week. Make sure you head over into the chat. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to motivefx.com. I'll put a link down in the description. You can get inside of our free chat room. It's awesome. There's a lot of education. We have a lot of guys doing really well in there. And eventually you want to scale up and go into that pro, all right? So guys, I'll talk to you very soon. Let's head over into the charts. All right, traders, let's pull over into these charts when we're strictly talking about the technicals, guys. I think you can see how on this weekly we pushed up, okay, $0.08, crashed down. But if you guys notice, coming from this low to this high here, check this out. Computer's moving a little bit slow. From the low here to the high, we are coming back down, and it seems as if we're going to hit off on the 61.8. So that's what I think could happen for sure. So we might have some intraday moves that could pop this thing off to these low 05s, which is again the low of this the 61.8. We had all last week to kind of close a little bit, at least a little green. All today, I know there wasn't much liquidity today. We did have a President's Day, a bank holiday, but other than that, we had our pullback of this market of this sell-off here. We had a pullback come in. This was a 50% retracement, so this could potentially be our retracement for the market to push down to these levels here, okay, the 61.8. So maybe this is where we start to see the market potentially consolidate and start to edge up a little bit higher, all right? So that's what I'm looking out for. So if I want to buy this Euro USD up, well, we've already have a big sell that just came in, all right? This Euro is already down 25 points, all right? So for me, I would want to see maybe even 27, 26, but who cares about the fine details in that aspect? I would want to see this thing really start to have these closes down here at the 61.8. Okay, so as of right now, do I want to buy this euro up? No, I would really love to sell it down to these levels here. So if you can come in on the 4 hour, check this out. I think you guys can see how some intraday breaks to the sell side would definitely be deemed as probable. So as I push this out, it's around 9:21 at night on this Monday. We could definitely see some intraday sells to the downside, maybe during the Euro Open or something like that. All right, so let's just keep a lookout on this Euro USD. Now, can we start to see some, it's sitting right here on this 50. Could it start to make some moves and start to push higher on this 50? Potentially, it may, but just looking at structure, looking how things are kind of aligning, we may retest this low here. So I will be looking at the overnight. I'm going to go to bed in a couple hours, so I might miss out on maybe a potential up move, but I just see that we could potentially come down on the 61.8. We'll see what happens. All right, we'll see what happens. Pulling over into this Aussie dollar now. Yeah, Aussie, guys, notice 1 week, 2 week. This is another week starting up. We've definitely slowed down since we've come to this high. So this is now a potential turning point for this Aussie dollar. Okay, so maybe we can start actually catching some sizable moves to the sell side. All right, hopefully that'll be the case. So if I draw up the fib from the low here to the high, I mean, it's the same story after, since the last Monday market breakdown, folks. We really just have to see exactly when we can start to get on this Aussie sell. So if you want to start executing this Aussie sell for a swing, then, I mean, look, your risk is, at basically this high here. So your risk is, right around, get 50 pips of risk for an immense amount of downside potential. I don't see anything wrong with that. Maybe even a little bit higher. I don't see why you can't have 60, 70 pip stops and then put on a fairly small position, because you have to account for that spread there, and then just let the thing run for the next couple of days, even the next week or so. All right. So I really want to start catching this Aussie sell up here at structure. We may have a little trend line here that could definitely be a catalyst to start to execute on this move. Okay, so that's something I am going to be looking out for. All right, so if we push on over a little bit further, look at this pound. Pound has been taking a while as well to make a decision. So if you look at this pound, we accelerated out after Thursday May spoke. We talked about this up move, and we've just been consolidated here for the past 3 weeks, and we're in the 4th week. And again, same story. We're just sitting right here in this level of consolidation. So I saw some analysts mentioning that this thing could come potentially all the way back up into the $30s, $40s. Obviously, that's far-reaching, and these guys have fairly large funds, and they can tolerate some downside risk. We have to be a little bit more precise, right? So pulling into things here, if we draw the structure here to the low, which is where the market seems to be edging down into, if we can get a potential consolidation down here at these lows, we might be able to actually take this market for a sell back down into these structural areas here in the 22s, so the mid 22s. If I draw up the fib, notice, guys, things are a lot more simple. I like to have a lot of simplicity because, again, that's really my edge. If it doesn't align with what my simple rules are, then I really don't like to play it out. I just kind of I don't need all these different variables to align. I like to understand a fundamental sentiment, and I like to have a certain amount of technicals that'll give me some good, price points to get in on the market. But I am definitely risk adverse, so I like to know if the market shifts in its ideals, then I want to really kind of get out and look for the next move. So other than that, we kind of are hanging up here at this 38.2% retracement, making these lower highs. Guys, it seems as if we may be able to break this low here, just by how the market's wedging itself to the downside here, okay? So potentially this move may be a little bit too much for buyers to want to execute in on these levels. So we may have the buys come down and penetrate to the 50 or the 61.8. Obviously the 61.8 would be nice, and it seems as if that's where the most structure is. So I would love to take the market down to that level there, okay? So other than that, yeah, 50 is our next stop, but we need to see this level here, this 38.2, get tested. Now, if I pull on over to the 4-hour, it'll look a little bit crazy. We have a lot of price action, so you won't really see much, all right? We made a high here. Potentially, this could be a level that, you could have started to your sell ideals and for the market to roll on over. So, I still think it's a little bit too risky to start selling the market, knowing that this is a heavy level of buyers. I need to see this level get penetrated a little bit more, and that and these buys weaken out, which they have been. All right, obviously they have been weakening out here, but I want to see a little bit more conviction that these buys are going to exit out, so then I could really conclude in for a sell. Okay, so other than that, we're just going to have to really wait and see what we get. All right. So for this euro dollar, again, I want to sell it down to this 61.8 and then potentially start buying the market up. For this Aussie dollar, I would love to see a break here at this level. It seems as if the market is kind of having these, more and more buyers edge into the marketplace, but they're not able to push it outside of this level here. So we definitely may have a gap in liquidity down here at these levels. So it would be great to take a sell down into structure here at least, all right, which is a good 60 points, or actually around 70 points there. And for this pound, same thing. I think we could definitely get a retracement past this 24s, mid 24s, high 23s level, and down here to mid 23s, mid 22s. Okay. So other than that, folks, guys, your profit is always my motive. Make sure you get in that rookie room and take that rookie course. If you still need some help, I'll talk to you guys really soon.